And starting with some breaking news coming in, Shiv Sena MLA Pratap Sarnaik has been summoned by Enforcement Directorate. The MLA's son has also been summoned. This comes a day after a team of Enforcement Directorate reached the residence of the Shiv Sena MLA in Thane. Searches were being carried out for hours yesterday, and Shavan Sen, our senior associate editor, also joining us with more details. Both the Shiv Sena MLA Pratap Sarnaik and his son have been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate. Shavan, tell us more.
Well, Prithvi, this is a big development in the case with the senior Shiv Sena leader Pratap Sarnaik, who's also been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate. This comes after his son, who was questioned for several hours at the Enforcement Directorate's Mumbai office. His father, too, has now been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate. Perhaps we're given to understand that he would be appearing before the Enforcement Directorate sometime later in the day. But just to put this into perspective, as far as the case is concerned, what we are picking up from our sources is that the first case was actually registered with the Yellowgate police station in Mumbai. A complaint was actually filed against Tops Security company. This company, we're given to understand, has come under the scanner for money laundering. In fact, the allegation that has been leveled against Tops Security is the fact that this company was being used by this senior Sena leader along with his son for laundering money. Now, that's the allegation that has been leveled against Top Security's other promoters also, and that's the reason why these searches were actually carried out in at least 10 locations in Mumbai as well as Thane. And now we are being told that Pratap Sarnaik has also been called in for questioning. He's been asked to carry certain documents along with him, his association with this particular company called Tops Security. It remains to be seen whether at all the Enforcement Directorate will also be taking over another case that has been registered against this company, and this case has also been registered with the Mumbai police.
Absolutely. So the Enforcement Directorate now will be going ahead with further investigations as far as this money laundering case is concerned. Shavan, the Mahavikas Aghadi meanwhile has accused the centre of using central agencies to arm twist political opponents. So politics also back in play, but the Enforcement Directorate certainly going ahead with its probe, the money laundering probe that is underway in this particular case.
Well, as far as politics over this matter is concerned, remember that is something that the Enforcement Directorate is certainly not bothered, and this would not sidestep their entire investigation. One would have certainly expected, given the fact that the Enforcement Directorate has basically gone for a senior Shiv Sena leader, reactions that have essentially come in from the allies of Shiv Sena at this point in time is also on the expected lines. But crying wolf when there is cracking the whip over corruption is something that may not be palatable to a lot of people. But what's important to point out here are the facts of this entire case. Remember, this predicate offense of this matter was actually first with the Mumbai police. So it is the Mumbai police which at first registered the case as far as this money laundering case is concerned. And only after that, this case was taken over by the Enforcement Directorate. So to say that there is some sort of a witch hunt, it certainly appears to be laughable given the fact that it's the Mumbai police which had first registered the case, and this was finally taken over by the Enforcement Directorate given the fact that there was a money laundering angle that has essentially emerged, and under the PMLA sections, it would be the Enforcement Directorate that would be looking into and probing whether at all there is money laundering that is involved in this particular company with which the senior Sena leader and his son have been associated with.
Yes, politics aside, as far as the ED probe is concerned, both Sena MLA Pratap Sarnaik and his son have been summoned by the probe agency. Shavan, if you could also perhaps share some information on the raids that were taking place yesterday. They went on for hours. Anything that we know of the raids that took place?
Well, as far as the searches are concerned, we're given to understand that several electronic devices, which includes laptops and personal desktops of the Sena leader as well as his son have already been seized by the Enforcement Directorate. And also certain documents were basically carried by the Enforcement Directorate from Pratap Sarnaik's residence as well as his son's residence. Now, with regards to what's the nature of these evidence, that's still not known at this point in time. But what we were essentially told by our sources within the agency is that these are incriminating evidence that they have gathered during these searches that were carried out at least at
All
10
right, so the
locations
agency is maintaining that they have gathered incriminating evidence as far as yesterday's searches are concerned. Atul is also joining us live from outside the ED office. Atul, what are you picking up? Both the MLA and his son have been summoned by the probe agency. What more can you tell us?
Well, they were summoned and were about to join the investigation by 11 o'clock, but as of now they have not reached here. Yesterday, ED recorded the statement of Vihang. He was confronted with the evidences, with the documentary evidences as well as the electronic evidences. The ED has found some malicious transactions, and now they want to know who made these transactions and which they were about to be used in the real estates. The ED also has some incriminating documents against both the son and the father. Now they will again come over here and ED officials will grill them. Again their statement will be recorded, and after recording the statement, the ED will decide the future course of action whether to arrest them or not. Yesterday ED conducted raids at 10 places and they have seized a number of documents, and many more the electronic evidences have been sent to CFSL, because whenever they seize such kinds of electronic gadgets such as cell phone, laptop or any other electronic gadgets, they have to send it to the CFSL. Yesterday, Vihang's cell phone was also seized by the ED and it has been sent to CFSL. A report will come.
So
and
any minute now we can expect both Pratap Sarnaik and his son to reach the Enforcement Directorate office from where you're reporting. We'll come back to you. For the moment, Atul, we'll leave it at that.